Alright guys, what's going on? So, today we're going to look at the Mind Maze deck analysis. I'm going to go ahead and go through like I do with everything. I have all 35 unlocked cards in the deck. There are currently 35 unlocked cards. Um, we'll go ahead and take this moment to discuss what I'm planning on doing in the future. Obviously, with more cards coming out, that more deck analysis will need to be made. So I'm going to do one whenever I finish the deck, and then I'm going to do one again when all of the sets are out. And I'll try and get those out like as soon as I can when they're finished. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and, do them as I finish them. I've been real busy with school and stuff, so that's why they haven't been a whole bunch of them. But that's done, so we should be able to get a lot more out. So, Jace's deck, you'd think it's a mill deck. It's not. Your opponent will very rarely have 10 cards in their graveyard. You really don't want to cast him. He's an illusion. He's flying. He's a 1-1. But that's about all he does. He might get bigger later, but I mean, we're talking late game. Phantasmal Bear is amazing. 2-2 for 2 mana. And, I mean, if it gets targeted by a spell, it's probably dying anyway. So, 2-2 for 2. Take it. I am playing the Veiled Sentry. When an opponent casts a spell, if it is an enchantment, it becomes an illusion creature with power and toughness equal to that spell's converted mana cost. So, in the worst case scenario, it is a 1-1 for 1 mana. Or you top deck it when you need a creature and it's not there. But most of the time, if it's in your opening hand, you're like, oh, okay, I can play this on turn 1, 2, or 3 and hit either a 1 mana creature, a 2-2, 3-3, or in some cases a 6-6. So, I like it. I think it's an interesting card and forces your opponent to play around what you're doing. And if you force them to Rampant Growth a turn that you don't have a counterspell, and then have a counterspell the following turn, it seems like a good idea to me. Unsummon, return target creature to its owner's hand. Really messes with slivers, but I don't think you need 4. So I'm going to run 2, because you're never targeting your own creatures with this. This is purely a removal spell for your opponents, and it's strongest against slivers. It's not really good against very many other decks, except for the fact that you have to make them replay a card. Slivers, you can completely mess up their day by unsummoning one of their slivers. And that's probably pretty much it for Unsummon. So, I mean, it's strongest against slivers, not great against everything else. But, I mean, it's still good, but it doesn't actually remove the creature, it just delays the creature. This is the most broken card in the history of forever. I remember playing with it when it was out in Standard. When it enters the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's an illusion in addition to its other creature types, and has, when it becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. So you're like, hey, this Lord of the Unreal is now an illusion, and he has hexproof. So if you copy that onto that, the only way they can kill you, creatures, is with a mass board wipe or through combat. Not to mention he's a 3-3 because he's an illusion. That's awesome. Absolutely amazing. But anyway, so with this being an illusion-themed deck, obviously having the Illusionary Lord is an absolute must. Illusions get +1/+1 and have hexproof. He's not an illusion himself, but it's okay. We'll forgive him. Aether Figment is nice. It gets big later, but 5 mana for a 3-3 just does not cut it for me. I mean, he can get huge with Lords out, but if you're top decking late game, you do not want to see that card. Incursion Specialist, whenever you cast a spell each turn, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, he gets +2/+0 and can't be blocked. That's really not that good of an ability. This is sick. Enters the battlefield, or flying and power and toughness equal to the number of illusions you control. Or number of illusions on the battlefield, not just you control, on the battlefield. So, when you've got like 4 illusions out, he's a 5-5. When you play him, if there's a Lord out, he's a 6-6. If there's a Phantasmal Image copying a Lord, then your creatures are all hexproof, and he's a 6-6. Or 7-7. Whatever he wants to be. The 2-1 for 2 mana Flying becomes a target of a spell or ability, you sacrifice it. We play a very large number of 2-drops. So I cut a few of these guys. I don't know how many I want to keep in right now. For now, we're going to leave in 2 because they're still flying 2/1. Again, they get targeted by anything, they're going to die. It's just, they're a thing. They're creatures, they're illusions, they help our goal. Twin Cast, not really great spell. This card is I'm debating on. If you watched the last video, it does really stupid things with slivers. At least I talked about it. It's really designed to kill slivers, but at the same time, Unsummon just seems like it does a better job. But this actually is a removal spell, assuming that you have a creature out untapped. If you do not have one untapped, then it just negates damage for a turn. Which, I mean, even casting it on Megantic Sliver helps you. So, I don't know where I feel on this card yet. It's good, but I don't know if I want it in there yet. But I'm going to leave it in there for now. The idea of a 2/2 illusion that can't be blocked is cool, it's cute, but it's 3 mana that I really don't want to spend on that. Illusionary Angel, you can only cast if you've cast another spell this turn. Which, I mean, really we play a lot of 1-drops, 2-drops, but a lot of the time you're trying to only cast one spell and keep up mana for counterspell or cancel, or which I'm actually going to take out cancel, I think. I don't know yet. But it's very difficult to cast that, so it's like turn 6 that you're casting that angel, which, I mean, she's the 4/4 flyer, but at the same time, just I don't like vanilla creatures ever. He may be an illusion, but he's 3 mana for a 2/3. Yeah, Garrett gets 3 3s for 2 mana. Just does not seem good to me. The Illusionary Servant is sick. This is your 3-drop. Your ideal hand is turn 1, Bear, turn 2, Lord, turn 3, Servant. And you're going to do really good with that hand. If you cast your Phantasmal Image on your Lord after that, I mean, you're basically won the game. So let's get rid of these staffs, because I don't like staffs ever. You guys know this. But there's a close-up on that guy. Enhancement, whenever you cast a creature spell, he becomes a 4/4 flying illusion creature. Until end of turn, it's still an enchantment. But it's not always a creature. You actually have to cast a spell from your hand to make it a creature. So I don't like that. 3 Claustrophobia seems like a lot. It's kind of designed to be that one thing that's like, there's a lot of things that you don't want to leave out on the field. But there's a lot of things that you're like, okay, this is a removal spell. This is the closest thing that blue gets to a removal spell. So I guess we'll leave it in. Also, we're going to talk about the 25 lands in a minute. I like Dream Fracture because it replaces itself. It also replaces your opponent's card, but in this deck, you know, it's just kind of an extra counterspell and says, oh, hey, is this a creature? No. Okay. Is this another counterspell? No. Okay. Is this a land? Okay, I guess that's okay. You know, it's not really bad anyway. The cancels, I think I'm going to take out 1. That way we have 4 counterspells, 2 at 2, 2 at 3, and then we have Force of Will. But Force of Will is amazing, and it's just on its own. Frost Breath, tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap. Not really ideal for me. Like, obviously we're a little aggressive and we want to get through as often as we can, and that prevents creatures from doing that, but it's just not going to save you if you're in that situation where you're not getting through for that damage. Like, normally, the games that I've won, I have creatures out and I stomp over them. The games that I've lost, I have no creatures out and I can't stabilize. So, like, this isn't going to help you in this situation. It's going to save you a turn, maybe 2. You cast it during their attack step, tap their creatures, it saves you 2 turns of damage. But only from 2 creatures, so if they have 3 or 4 out, I mean, you're still taking damage. Divination's a good card. Lets you draw cards, refills your hand. Not bad. This, on the other hand, is absolutely awful. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 4. I used it against my opponent a lot when they had 2 cards in their hand. It was just like, draw 2, discard your hand. But that's the only situation that it's good, when they have exactly 2 or less cards in their hand. So I'm not a fan of that. Chronozoa is amazing. If he vanishes, game's over. Because now they have to deal with 2 Chronozoas. And if they somehow manage to survive the 2 Chronozoas that have been out there for 3 turns, there's now 4 Chronozoas. And then after that, there's 8 Chronozoas. And then after that, there's 16. He just gets out of control really fast. 5/5 Dragon for 4 mana. Seems good enough to me. I think we can keep him in there. I don't think I've been running with him, but he's big and scary, and that's something you want to see late game. 4 mana for a 4/5 that doesn't fly does not seem good enough to me. Disorient is awful. This just does not seem good to me, ever. You mill yourself like crazy, and I don't know what the purpose of it would be. Shuffles it into his or her library. If that player does, he or she reveals cards off the top of his or her library until a card named Mirror Mad Phantasm is revealed. That player puts that card on the battlefield and all other cards revealed this way in the graveyard. Like, it's a 5/1, but ew. Ew, that drawback. This one, whenever it deals combat damage, return to its owner's hand. No thank you. Mind Control is sick. To the creature that accidentally slips through, it's now dealt with. I'm not a fan of Draining Welk. He's just too expensive for a counterspell. Obviously he's going to hit something good, but I'm just not a fan of that. Sphinx of Magosi is sick. 6 mana for a 6/6 flyer that has the next turn I draw 2 counters and I'm an 8/8. And then the next turn I draw 2 more counters and I'm a 10/10. The Sphinx gets really big really fast. I'm a big fan of Royal Elemental. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain control of target creature for as long as you control Royal Elemental. Now, granted, he's just an elemental, but at the same time, every time you play a land after turn 6, you gain control of something from them. It's awesome to go Phantasm your Oracle of Maldaya, play my Royal Elemental, and take 2 of your Eldrazi's. They can't interact with you. They don't have any way to deal with your creatures. Like, they're just, I'm going to play a big creature and hope to smash face. You take their creatures with Royal Elemental and they sit there and go, yep, that's game. Good game. So, I keep Royal Elemental in there just for that deck. It's not bad against other decks, though. It's just, you might end up losing it. Just be careful with it. Mindseeker. Again, we are not a mill deck, and there are very few other decks that you're likely to see when you enter the battlefield with this card. It's only 5 cards that you see on the top of their library, and very rarely is there something that you're going to want to cast. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's going to be games that you're going to be like, oh, Summoning Trap, cast Summoning Trap. Oh, look, I hit something in my deck. But most of the time, they're just not. Omniscience, just no. 10 mana to play your cards for free. Like, you can already play everything for free, so you don't need that. So we need 2 cards out of the deck. What 2 cards don't we want in the deck? Well, we don't want... I'm thinking we don't want... maybe the Claustrophobias. Our 2 drops are still really high, but I'm okay with that. I don't know if I want this in the deck. This is the card that I'm debating on. Like, we have 21 creatures. We take this out. We have 14 spells. 21 creatures, 14 spells doesn't seem bad to me. Of course, 18 creatures isn't bad either. Um, but we're trying to be aggressive, so we should keep in as many creatures as possible. We could remove the 2 claustrophobias, but then we have no way to get through big creatures other than taking them with mind control or copying them with the uh, phantasmal image. I think I'm going to cut these Veiled Sentries. They're just too random. Like, I do like like I mentioned earlier, that, you know, sometimes you're going to make your opponent go, I'm going to cast this 2-drop spell so that he doesn't get a 6/6. And that might be good enough, though. Just as a 2-of, like, it's so good as a 2-of. Let's see. Other than that, though, like, this is the only other thing that I would consider removing. And again, it's not bad. It's not great, though. But it gives you so many options. I'm going to take out the claustrophobias. I think that's what I want to do. At 3, we want to see any of these 7 cards. That makes sense. I like 7 at 3. 15 at 2 is a lot, but keep in mind that this isn't a 2-drop, this isn't a 2-drop. Very rarely are you going to cast any of these on turn 2, so you know, we only have 11 2-drops. And I like that better. But the cards I'm debating on are the removal spells. You know, you can either play, it's just going to be a preference of removal, because right now you've got 2 unsummons, 2 counterspells, 2 Ovenize, and basically 2 cancels, and a Force of Will as your removal. Like, that's sick removal as far as you're going to get in blue. Like, this is nice, but again, I just feel like we don't need it. I mean, there are games that it does stupid stuff for you, but most of the time if you're getting into the late game, you're not winning, because if you don't draw a Sphinx, you're just going to not have anything. But there really isn't much else that you can draw in super late game to make a presence. You know, you could draw, I mean, you could get these guys if you're really concerned about super late game, but most of the time they're going to have an answer for a 4/5, because it's not the biggest thing in the set at all. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. I mean, you could even cut down to 24 lands. 24 lands might be safe. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do 24 lands. And I mean, you could probably go to 23 if you really wanted to. But I'm gonna do 24, and we're gonna play one more we're gonna play 1 claustrophobia. It's just as another way to deal with a creature. I like it. 21, 15, 24. Solid. Looks real good. So, let me know what you guys think, and let me know what deck you want to see next, because like I said, I have all of them almost unlocked. The only ones that we still have to go through are Avastin's Glory, Hunter's Strength, Mask of Dimir. I'm going to do this one in the last part of the Revenge campaign, just because this deck's not going to win online until it's 40 of 40 unlocked. Then it might actually stand a chance, but the Guardian's Light is one that we haven't done yet. Deadwalkers, and Enter the Dracomancer. So let me know which one you guys want to see, and I'll see you later. Bye.